Hey everybody, it's time for another vlog from Black Fox, and this time we're going to be talking about, is film school worth it? So what we're going to be going over is film school worth going to? Is it worth your time and money? In other words, to actually go if you are considering a career in film production. So we're going to be going over these things, and we're going to be talking about, is it worth the gigantic tuition costs, which can be very, very high? Is it worth your time spending years going to film school when some famous directors just famously quit and decided not to go at all, and they still succeeded anyway? So you might be wondering, is it even worth it to go, period? So we're going to be going over these things, and I developed some questions that you probably need to ask yourself in order to decide if this is actually for you or not. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first question that you probably need to ask yourself is if it would actually be worth your time and money to go. And that might sound very obvious, but it's a very big decision for many aspiring filmmakers out there. And you have to ask yourself, really, do you think it would be worth it? Now, if you have a very strong desire to learn as much as you can, you have a burning passion to actually be a filmmaker, then I'm of the overall opinion, and you're probably going to hear me say this several times, it's probably a good decision to go if you have a very strong passion for it. That being said, you can learn quite a bit on your own if you practice your craft. But at the same time, film school is a good place to hone your craft, and we're going to get into that next. So the next question is, are you looking to learn the skill sets in order to be a strong filmmaker, such as learning cinematography, learning editing? Overall, are you looking to hone your craft and your creative skill set to make you a stronger filmmaker? Film school is a perfect place to hone your craft and find your own creative voice. And if you're looking to gain those skill sets that you need to make you employable in the film industry, again, it would probably be a good idea to go, because you're going to be surrounded by professionals and professors that have been in the industry. You're going to be surrounded by other students that also have a passion for what you're looking to do as well. And I'm of the opinion that it's a good place to find your own creative voice. Everybody goes to film school for, because they love movies. They probably are wanting to get into it somehow. They just don't know what their creative style is yet. So if you're looking to hone that and refine it and find your own voice creatively, then it's probably, again, a good idea to go to film school. The next question is, are you looking to make connections in the industry? If so, then film school is a good place to do that. Your professors have probably been in the industry for a good while, and they may know people that are looking to hire aspiring filmmakers such as yourself. So I'm of the opinion, and this is my personal opinion on this, that shouldn't be the only reason that you go to film school. Even though connections are valuable, undeniably, I do not think that should be the only reason that you go. You should go because you have a burning passion to work in film and you want to cultivate filmmaking skill sets. But at the same time, that being said, if you come out of school and a connection of your professor says, hey, I need an assistant editor for my show, by all means. However, I wouldn't make it the sole reason that you go. That's just my personal opinion. But it can be a very good reason to go. If you decide to go to Tisch School of the Arts, for example, you're probably going to get hired fresh out of school based on the name recognition alone. So just something to think about. And if you're looking to make connections, film school is a great place to do it. The next question, and probably the most important one that I can give you, is, do you want to turn filmmaking into a career, or do you want to make it a hobby? The short answer to that is, if you want to turn filmmaking into a career, then I would advise that you go to film school. If you want to make it into a hobby, I would advise that you do not go. Filmmaking is an incredibly taxing career, especially on your time, and you need to really have a passion for it if you want to turn it into a career. So that's the short answer to that, because a lot of people in the industry, especially if they work on sets for movies, they'll spend 12, 13-hour days on set. And if you don't really love it and you don't like it, you're going to absolutely hate working in film. You need to make sure that you really like doing it and that you have a strong passion for it. If the answer to that is yes, I have a burning passion to make movies one day, then I would advise going to film school, and I think that it would actually help you. Next question is, are you okay with coming out of school in debt? This is a reality for many people, and I feel that it is absolutely worth mentioning because I went to a school where I fortunately came out of school with only about $20,000 in debt that I needed to pay off, and I consider myself very lucky with that. Some people come out of school with $250,000 in debt and student loans. If you are wanting to go to film school, you need to consider the financial side of things. And I know that you want to do this as your passion, but it's something to also factor into the equation. If you can't afford it, see if there are financial assistance programs to help you out. I went to a college where there wasn't a dedicated film school, and I managed to get a good solid education with the strong technical skill sets that I needed to be employable. But this is something that I implore you to consider so that when you come out of school, you're ready to pay those debts off. And that's something that is just a reality for anyone going to college, period. But I wanted to mention it just so that you keep it in mind whenever you are applying. If it's a private school like, say, SCAD, or if it's something like Tisch School of the Arts, then it's going to be very expensive. So just something to keep in mind. And if you're considering this, I would factor it into your decision and then kind of see what colleges you can afford and then go from there. So my overall point in this vlog post is this: if you have a burning desire to make movies, you can't imagine doing anything else in your career, then I would advise going to film school. I'm glad that I went. A lot of my colleagues graduating from college, they ended up employed in the film industry and have had very long, successful careers as a result of a good education. So if you're thinking about going to film school and you want to be a filmmaker, then I personally think it's a good idea. It's a great place to cultivate your skill set, find your creative voice, meet connections in the industry. That would be my overall argument. If you want to cultivate your skill sets on your own and learn through trial and error, that's perfectly fine. Go out there with a camera and start shooting. Okay, so that's it for today's vlog, and we'll catch you on the next one.